Hi, so at the moment, there's been a lot of news about a whole range of things, a lot of changes around our financial situation with property and interest rates, etc. Some of what I've seen, because I observe or I sort of follow a few real estate agents to sort of see what they're seeing in the market, and we talk to real estate agents occasionally when our clients are buying from them, etc. And what I've noticed is that over the last week to a fortnight, in some of the cities and some of the bigger areas, a lot of auctions haven't gone as smoothly as what they might once have, and so a lot of properties are still haven't sold, whereas normally they would have sold. Now, what might be happening is that it could be due to a number of factors. We've got interest rates increasing, we've got rain, and we've got also an election. I get a few phone calls from people who are saying, "Oh, look, it's still a good time to buy. I'm looking at buying my first home, etc. Should I do it?" Now, an answer like that, you can't answer that question in 2 or 3 minutes because you're just not going to cover the range of factors that are applicable. But there's some things that I think you should be aware of. The first thing is that for the last few years, there's been periods when there was a lot of houses were selling for cash offers. And sometimes people weren't even inspecting the houses. They're buying remotely and they're buying it via FaceTime, etc. That seems to have changed, number one. The second thing as well is that they were, with the paying of cash, as soon as you made an offer that was subject to finance for say 2 or 3 weeks, people were going, no, I can get a cash offer here and I'm just going to take that. Now, some of that seems to have gone out of the market, and so real estate agents once again seem a lot more open to negotiating with buyers and going, hey, look, you're going to need some time for finance. That's fine. We'll talk to the sellers. We'll make sure that they're okay with that. The last thing is that with auctions, if some of those properties that people were thinking of selling haven't sold, then they'll sit around on the market a little bit longer, and hopefully you would expect to see that the sellers' expectation as to how much they're going to get for their property might reduce as well. Now, the big question is interest rates. So if you're a buyer now, it makes a lot of sense to not only be looking at what the interest rate is that you're paying on your home loan when you get the home loan, what it will be today, but also to factor in, 1.5% or maybe even 2% higher interest rates over on what you're paying now if you're applying for a variable loan. So let me explain what that means. So if we'll say, for example, if your interest rate at the moment is, for example, 2.5%, I think before you go ahead, you should be talking to whoever's helping you, whether it's us or somebody else, and saying, hey, look, Victor, my interest rate repayments on this are this. If the interest rate goes up by, for example, 1%, how much will that mean for my weekly or fortnightly budget? If it increases by 6 interest rate rises, which is 1.5%, how much will that impact it? And if it goes up by a full 2%, which is 8 interest rate rises, how much will that mean for the repayments? And what you need to do then is be looking at it and going, okay, if interest rates rise, now I can obviously, it's comfortable, I can afford it. But if interest rate rise, a chunk and then another chunk, what's that going to mean? Now, what that might mean is you end up buying something a little bit cheaper, you might take out less of a loan, you might save more of a deposit, but it's just all about getting prepared so that when you come to buy, you're not going to have sleepless nights after it settles, and you can move forward and go, yep, this is going to work for us.